Trista Leslie are the founders of Side Hustle Pros, founders of the popular online community FBA Rockstars, and Side Hustle Pros YouTube channel, Chaz and Trista, have transitioned from the typical 9-to-5 grind to create their own work-life balance. Leveraging the online world of e-commerce, social media, consulting, and affiliate marketing, Charles was able to leave his full-time career as a massage therapist and Trista from the medical field to pursue their passions for helping others learn to develop their own side hustles to achieve their goal of time freedom.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So my name is Charles Leslie, Chaz, as most of you guys know me. Do we have any FBA Rockstars in the house? Nice. Thank you guys for being a part of that community.
Does my name count?
The name counts, trust me. All right, so I'm going to dive into a little bit of my take on developing the mindset of an entrepreneur. That is super bright, so I'm going to step over here. When I was trying to put together some type of presentation for you guys, I was trying to decide, okay, mindset-wise, why is that so important, and how do I even talk about it? Because entrepreneurship, you can agree or disagree, I believe that entrepreneurship you cannot teach. I think it's something that it's a fire, it's a spark, something inside of you that says we want more out of this life, and most of all, we want to do it on our terms. I think that's what most entrepreneurs can agree with. So I'm going to bring you into my backstory in hopes that at least one person will take something out of it and start to improve your guys' own entrepreneurship journeys as well. So going back to my starting days, has anyone had a crappy job that, wait, hands down, not yet. A crappy job that later on in life you reflect back on and realize, holy crap, I actually learned a lot from that place. Yeah. Everybody. So mine was at Quiznos. Sandwiches. That's where I met wifey over here. So throughout this process of working at Quiznos, I was extremely lazy. So it was my first job, 16 years old, worked it for 3 years, paid my way through massage school with that job. But during the time, I could not stand my boss telling me what to do. And I've always kind of had that hard-headedness of myself, which everyone in this room probably has the same problem if you did work a full-time job or still do. So throughout that process, there was one thing that always stuck in my head since that day, and this was the biggest lesson I took from that job, which helps me in my entrepreneurship journey now. That was the fact that every single night when I closed that store, I had to sweep. That was just one of the checklist items, right? If you guys work in food, you know what I'm talking about. So every single night I would have to sweep. And I did what most 16-year-old males would do. I sweep around everything, half-assing it, and then I ended up sweeping it up, putting it in the garbage, and then do it again the next night. Well, boss comes in one day, and after about a week of doing that, turns out there's a lot of stuff I missed underneath the tables. And guess what? I was doing the same thing on the counters when I was wiping stuff down, right? Wiping around everything, just kind of like, that's good enough. But just good enough, obviously, for the boss is not going to cut it. So he looks at me and says, all right, Charles, you're a really good hard worker, kind of, but I want you to understand one thing. If your name is on that list, it better be your best. So he brought my butt around to those tables I was missing the spots every single night, and he brought me around and he told me, when your name is on that list, on that sweeping job, you pull those tables out, you get everything. When you're sweeping down those counters and you're wiping everything down, you pull stuff out, you get around it. Because if you've worked in food, especially a sandwich shop, that stuff gets very hard crusted around objects, and we don't want that near customers' food. So that, for some reason, always stuck with me. And I later, like, probably 7 or 8 years later, ran into that same boss, Steve, at Winco when I was grocery shopping. I thanked him because I never had the opportunity to go back and thank him for sharing me that one lesson. If my name's on it, I'm going to make it my best, even when no one's looking, because that's integrity. So that was my first entrepreneur mindset shift, if you want to look at it that way. And that sparked a domino effect when I got into massage therapy as a career, working at what we call the McDonald's of the massage industry, Massage Envy. So I was getting paid 12 bucks an hour to work on clients and massage them. Throughout this process, guess what I was doing? Half-assing my work. Fell into the same slump that I did when I was at Quiznos. And that term kept running through my head. If your name is on it, make it your best. And the clients didn't know any better sometimes if I didn't work on this knot versus this knot and I was keeping things uneven. So I had to eventually start to develop my skill and really put in all of my effort with these clients. I became the top LMT in every corporate job that I had. I was the one that ended up training the other LMTs, licensed massage therapists, in how to get into the industry and become better. So that was a position I grew into because it was all a mindset of that one phrase. If your name is on it, make it your best, especially when no one's looking. Because that is where most people fail and they struggle the most in their business, is because it's the moments when no one's looking that make or break your ultimate success and your growth. And that's going to be different for each of you. So that's kind of the beginning phase. Now, as I started to develop my own entrepreneur fire, somehow I was working for corporate jobs and I could not stand showing up to a job, being told when I can pee, when I can eat, what time I can clock out, and what time I'd be back the next day. Especially dealing with high-end clients at a big spa that I worked at, where I'm working on 5-star VIP clients, and I had to go by their terms, their rules. Holidays, I remember one specific one, Trista loves this one. Thanksgiving Day, this was like one of my breaking points. Thanksgiving Day, I had to work overtime. And I was working on about 6-7 clients that day, 1 hour massage each, back to back to back, 20-minute lunch break. And I remember Thanksgiving Day, I'm missing out a huge family dinner we have every single year, and this is the one year that they said, sorry, you have to work. And I remember I picked up my client, shook their hand, my name's Charles, I'll be working on you today. Let's go ahead and take you back to your treatment room. We're walking down the hallway, and I go, how's your day so far? She's like, oh, it's so great. I have Thanksgiving off, my husband treated me to this. What about you? Well, I'm gonna put oil on you for an hour. Looking forward to it. So that was one of my first breaking points, and I think we all have one of those breaking points in our lives, especially with a business. It's the breaking point of getting so freaking disgusted with where you are, even down to who you are. You guys will see a picture of what I looked like just a few months ago. You reach a point of disgust with yourself that you have to do something to change it. That can be your finances, your health, whatever. You reach a low point where you need to change that. That was one of my first times where I thought, there has to be a way I can do massage therapy on my own, because I am done with this. So after reaching that first point, of course, I had many other breaking points, which ultimately led me to an opportunity to do health and fitness coaching online. Thought, well, I've lost 50 pounds myself. I would love to be able to provide back and help other people do the same. So I busted my ass, just like every single one of you have that have quit a job. How many of you still have a full-time job? Part-time job, a job you're trying to get out of, a few of you? And then how many people are self-employed? All right, so if you're self-employed and have quit that type of corporate job, raise your hand. So you guys definitely know what I mean when you hit that level of disgust, like you're just so done with it. It was those moments that got me to work, not just my 9 to 6 job, but then 8 to midnight on my business. I finally figured out that, oh, if I want to build my business, it's going to take extreme dedication and commitment. So I have to work after hours or I have to work early in the morning. It was on my lunch break. I was on my phone, my laptop, every chance I got to build that business. Finally, July 14th, 2013, I finally reached the point where I got to put in that notice and I was out. Broke free. I was working on my own massage clients out of my own space, doing online health and fitness coaching. After 2 years of doing that, the first 6 months, I remember quit that job. Trista could definitely share a little more on this. For 6 months, because I finally had my time freedom, guess what I did? I was lazy, so lazy. Netflix, Ben & Jerry's, I was good to go. Because I had my time freedom. That is the one thing I was chasing so hard, was my time freedom, and I finally hit it. Now, once that 6-month mark came around, Trista caught on real quick, like, you need to do something or this is not working out, because income-wise, it was very inconsistent because it was a direct reflection of what I was doing. So I ended up getting to work, learning what consistency looked like, business, everything grew with it. Fast forward to December 2015, discovered this little thing called Amazon FBA. I knew about selling on eBay, but I, like some of you, thought that Amazon was the seller of all things. As a consumer, I just thought if I ordered from Amazon, it's Amazon's product. I didn't know there were third-party sellers. The second I found out that you can send them stuff and they ship it for you, sold. I'm in. So while I loved massage, I loved health and fitness. Massage was wearing on me physically. Any of you who have been physical therapists, LMTs, you know what I'm talking about. And then health and fitness coaching, while it was online, I had to rely on teams. I had to rely on so many external factors that were so up and down. I needed something that was for me. And I found out I can go to garage sales. I can go into Walmart clearance sections in the beginning. I can buy products and I can flip them on Amazon, eBay. So I got in. I decided, why not try to build something out of this that's not just beneficial for me, but to help somebody else? So we created a Facebook page and a YouTube channel. Those things blew up. We created side businesses out of those down the road. But those all paired together have taught me so much more about myself and entrepreneurship and the real consistency and hard work that it takes than any other experience I've been through. And a lot of you are in that position too, where you understand now more than ever, your results, whether it's financially, health, relationships, whatever, your results are direct reflection of your consistency. If you consistently eat garbage every single year, you're probably going to feel that way. If you consistently eat healthy foods and exercise, you're going to be in great shape and feel great. It's just a result of your consistency, whether that's good or bad. Now, getting into the why behind why we do things, right? Because I'm not going to sit up here and be like, you need to find your why. Like, we all heard that crap before, right? There's a big difference between just hearing it all the time and then actually finding out why you work. Because I think, especially as entrepreneurs, we get in the habit of doing the same shit every single day, and eventually you lose your fire. It happens to all of us. You lose your fire eventually. Some of you probably right now are here because you lost your fire. You're waiting for that moment of inspiration or like that special secret technique that somebody's going to share to have your breakthrough. And it does come from truly deep down knowing why you're going to do this. I had many whys, and I believe your guys' why will develop and change over time. My whys were never as strong as the why that I'm going to show you now, because December 2014, Trista was pregnant. It's the first time I've seen that picture in a while. Our baby boy Titus was born. Any NICU experiences in here? You would not wish that experience on anybody. He was born 6 pounds. He wasn't super tiny. He was 4 weeks early. His lungs were not fully there. He could not breathe on his own. At the time, Trista was working full-time all the way up until that day. She was working full-time. Medical field, so medical field people know how that goes. She calls me and says, hey, blood pressure has been out of whack. She had preeclampsia is what it turned out to be. She ended up getting put into the hospital. They would not let us out until baby was going to come. We said, okay, let's do this. So we ended up seeing this view for 2 weeks inside the NICU, neonatal intensive care unit. During this time, I didn't fully appreciate or understand until after we got back home. During this time, Trista was obviously not working anymore. She was off. I stopped everything. I hit pause on life. Hit pause on life. Because we were here with our boy 24/7 for those 2 weeks. God bless our family who brought us laundry, food. The hardest part about being in there, it sounds weird, it wasn't this image right here. That wasn't the hardest part, because we knew, he knew, not just us, he knew we were there for him. We had his back. The hardest part for both of us was, we're in a room that's blocked off by curtains. Not even private doors, just curtains. There's about 30 of these in there. And he was the biggest one there. We were there for 2 weeks. We saw the parents come on weekends. Monday through Friday, there were no parents there. That entire facility. We were the only ones there 24/7. Once that moment happened and we got back home and I realized our bills are paid. I didn't have to put in PTO. I didn't have to worry about the finances. That was the first moment that truly opened my eyes to the power of entrepreneurship and building the finances to back it up. We got to take those 2 weeks off to be there with our boy and go back home and our bills were still paid. That was a whole different level of why. I will continue to work my ass off to the day I die so I can take time off for these moments, because life will happen. Life happens more often than we care it to, but you have to put yourself in a position to be able to take time off when life calls. Because if that would have happened a year prior, we would have been screwed financially. No one created a GoFundMe for us. We didn't ask for help. I went home, we took care of our stuff, and we moved on. He's completely healthy, amazing little boy now, and everything's fine with his lungs. But I just want to share that story with you guys because you need to find whatever it is that drives you, and you need to always understand that life will happen, and you have to be ready for it at all times. Because that happened to us when we were least expecting it. Now, moving forward with the whole timeline that we're given here, 3 months later, another hard time comes. Moms understand this. Trista had to go back to work full time. Financially, we thought we were good. Bills were paid for a few months, but after that 3-month mark, she had to go back. We were not swinging it, and part of that fell back on me with my lack of consistency again. So she goes back to work. Was it 9 months later? Puts in her notice. She quit her job. That was another huge opportunity for us. And for the first time, Trista now, I had been self-employed for 3 years. Trista now understood that I was not just sitting at home playing around my computer all day. So I'm actually going to call her up real quick because I'm not going to share her part of the story for her. I'd rather her just share, but she's going to share a little bit about what those first 6 months felt like and transitioning from an employee mindset to entrepreneurs.
At least we don't have to try to get you both in the same place. There you go.
So I came home, which was a huge leap for both of us, and I think everyone has made that leap in this room. You probably had a steady paycheck and a secure place, and then you just decided, okay, we're going to do this. And that really happened for me when Charles had been an entrepreneur, and as far as I had seen him at home, I'd come home from work after a 10-hour shift, and he was like bopping around on his laptop, and I'm thinking, like, what are you doing all day? Like, I see money coming in, so I guess it's something. But it was a real switch.
It's always friends and family that do that.
Yeah. So it was a switch. When I came home, I was really ready to come home. I was ready to be with my boy all the time, and that's just what I thought it was going to be. I was going to come home and I'd help Charles with the Amazon shipments, so I knew I'd be just packing boxes and blah, blah, blah. So when I came home, I really struggled with finding an identity in this new business. And a lot of, everyone's got completely different business models in this room. Like, no one of you had the same business model, or two of you. So I didn't really know what I was gonna do, but hopefully in your business you have a certain amount of passion for what you're doing. You have a product that you want to get out there, or you just have this vision of having time freedom, whatever vehicle it takes to get you there. Hopefully you have got that passion. I didn't. I just wanted to be at home. And so I learned through this process of coming home and being an entrepreneur that that making plans is absolutely essential. And I've been home for a year and a half, and I probably on a very regular 30-day basis reevaluate my plans, and I'm always thinking, like, what's the next step? Where am I going? Where are my pain points right now? Because we need to fix them in 30 days and not a year. So I struggled with that for the very first 6 months, like finding that foothold. But after I found it, it's been really great. Just learning to be a self-motivator. Yeah. Who has ever made, like, this is super kind of embarrassing. Who's ever made a dream board? Anybody? Who loves their dream boards? I've never actually, I mean, we've made dream boards before, and everyone has a vision of what they want out of their life and out of their business, but these dream boards are just crap unless you're making action plans on how to get there. And that was the biggest thing that I learned out of coming from a medical office where I was 10-hour days, and having someone tell you what to do all the time. Like, you're always given direction, like, go get this patient, treat this patient, and you've just got this line, very linear, job flow. And entrepreneurship is not that at all. You've got 100 things going all over the place. And so making those action plans are just absolutely essential and crucial. Yeah, so that's what I would share. What I do.
All right, so fast forward into, that was all just kind of the timeline. Here's my little spiel I'm going to give you guys. This is where I was in November on the left, 2016, just this last November. We went to Arizona. It was Thanksgiving week. Went to Arizona. I broke down. Like, there was one specific morning. I don't remember what sparked it, but Trista and I got it, like, just started arguing. I lost it. And I finally realized, after reflection of the last 6 to 8 months prior to that, I was so focused on everyone else and so focused on my businesses, so focused on my clients, so focused on the content creation. All the external crap that we think might be a priority because we want to build our businesses, right? Everyone in this room wants to scale up. I'm going to break the mold and not give you business tactics that are going to help you scale like a lot of people will at conferences. I'm going to share with you the things that have helped me go from, and it's not like, for me, I had a hard time deciding if I want to share this picture because I don't want people looking like, okay, congrats. You lost some weight. Good job, buddy. That's not why I shared this. It's this. That's confidence. That's energy. That's passion. I finally felt like myself again. And when I feel my best, I give my best. If you feel like shit every day, I don't care how many millions you're doing in your business. You are limiting your own potential by doing that. And that was a hard pill for me to swallow. Here's the shocking part. I'm a health and fitness coach. Yeah, I had clients. Shocking, right? Practice what you preach. That moment, that was after our big argument. We were at each other. I went in the bathroom, took a shower. I remember I'm putting my clothes on. I look up and go, what the fuck just happened? That doesn't happen overnight. That is not just from overeating. That is stress. That is putting others first. And it's a fine line. I get it. Family comes first. All that good stuff. Like, I get it. But what do they tell you when you're on an airplane and they're talking about the masks? Whose mask goes on first? Yours. Some of you need to stop looking at your business tactics so much and turn around and look in the mirror. That comes first. When you feel your best, you give your best to everything. You guys can imagine, not just did I lose weight, my relationship with my wife got 10 times better. My relationship with my boy, because I wasn't a prick anymore and ignoring him. Parents, we do it, come on. Everything got better because I took care of me. I finally felt like myself again. So that was my low point. And that was like the bulk of this whole like mindset of an entrepreneur talk is not, here's how you be a better entrepreneur type of stuff. Like that's not how it goes. Entrepreneurship is not taught. It's something that's inside you. But at a certain point in your entrepreneurship journey, you will hit a sticking point. You will plateau. And I'm telling you, if you're not focusing on yourself, and that comes from more than just working out and exercise, that's something I'll talk about, but that comes from more than that. You need to put yourself first. That is something I'm very, very passionate about. You guys probably saw a major switch in my tone from the beginning to now. This is my ballpark. This is what I help people do because it starts and ends right here. It starts and ends with you. If your business is failing, it's not because you have bad sources. It's not because XYZ canceled a contract. It starts and ends with you. You want to have a better business, you have to do better. And that comes by make yourself priority. If you're taking notes, I've got 5 tangible things that I highly recommend. This is what I teach my clients. I highly recommend you start doing now if you truly want to make that transition. I'm not talking about the weight loss. I'm talking about that damn smile. That smirk, I wear that proudly now. Because a lot of people I've had people try to call me out like, Chaz, you walk around like you're cocky. Right? At least one person has thought it. Come on. Shoulders are up. Feel good. That's a posture. That's a backbone I've developed over time. But I wear it proudly because I came from somewhere. Okay? 5 things. Number 1, you have to read. I don't care if it's reading a physical book, an audio book. You have to put stuff in your head that's going to help you grow mentally. It just has to be a given. Some of you have been reading for years and you completely agreed with me because all of you went, uh-huh. Right? I didn't even read the books in high school. I went to Cliff Notes like most of us did. Cliff Notes was still like a big thing. But I've learned over time that those books work if you implement them. Don't listen to an audio, watch a video, read a book like, wow, that was a really good theory, and then like move on and just not do anything with it. Right? It's like having the perfect nutrition and fitness plan, but you're not actually following it. It's not going to get you anywhere. So number 1 is you have to make it a daily priority. It's 10 minutes. Just read something that's going to be uplifting and positive. 10 minutes a day. If you want a great starting point and you're just starting from zero, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy is incredible. That changed my life. It's the small daily choices and actions that compound effect into a larger result. The other one, I read almost the entire thing on the flight here from Oregon yesterday, 2 days ago, is the 12-week year. 12-week year is going to be a game changer. I'm telling you, 12 weeks from now, we are going to be in a completely different position everywhere because of this book. 12-week year. Number 2, this is where I always lose people. Exercise and nutrition. I'm not going to give you a health speech. I'm not going to do any of that crap, but just please move your body and stop eating as much junk. It's not for the weight loss. Again, it's not for the weight loss or how you physically look. It's how you feel. Food is fuel. If you're feeding your body garbage, you will feel like garbage. If you're feeding it good, nutritious food, you have energy. I'm not going to have the 2 p.m. slump that I see some people have right now. I'm not going to have the 2 p.m. slump at all over this weekend because I take care of my body physically. When I talk about exercise, I'm not saying go to the gym and hit the weights really hard for 45 minutes a day. Just get up and walk. It's amazing. Any Fitbit fans? It's amazing when you first get a Fitbit and you put that damn thing on and you, at the end of the day, like, I wonder how many steps I did. 2,000? Really? Move your body. I don't care if it's a 10-minute walk every morning, every afternoon. Even better, do it with your spouse. That will help with your relationship. Promise you that. Also do it with your kids if you have kids. So you start to incorporate those healthy habits with the family. That is amazing when you start to do that. But just do something every day that moves your body. We're given joints. Mine just popped, but we're given joints for a reason because we're designed to move. So when we're sitting in cars, to a job, to sit in a desk, to back home, to where we plop on the couch, no wonder why you hurt. I've come from chronic back issues as a massage therapist. I get it, but I fixed all that stuff through movement and activity like our body should be doing. Number 3, this we're implementing lately and it's been friggin' phenomenal. You need to define your 20%. Okay? 80% of your results are driven by 20% of your activities. You need to define what are your biggest activities you can do that produce revenue, that produce better relationships, better health. You need to make those daily priorities. Here's the game changer we just did. I'm Amazon. We're getting ready to do a video, which will be fun. Amazon versus eBay. So I'm Amazon. I love Amazon. I'm not a huge eBay fan, but I'm getting into it. She's the eBay person, doing really well with the clothing. I know Casey back there. Trista's doing really well with clothing right now. And she reached a point where she's up until 1 in the morning doing listings every night because she had to spend all day doing the photos herself. And then she has to stay up, and of course we play with our 2.5-year-old Titus now, and we have that time freedom to be with him. So we play with him throughout the evening, and she stays up until 1 in the morning doing these listings. I remember the first time I thought, you used to get on me so much when I was staying up late because I was working my business, and now she gets it. So the biggest thing we did was we narrowed down what top 20% activities can she be doing to help build her business and scale. And it was, well, the pictures are time consuming because you have to take several different angles, put in the measurements, all that kind of stuff, for clothing at least. And we decided, well, if we can cut out the measurements and the photos, that gives you more time to go get more stuff, to do more listings. Funny how that works. So we hired somebody. That was it. We hired help a couple hours a week. And that has been a game changer. So your top 20%, I don't care how you do this. I made a list of all my top producing activities I could be doing in all my different areas. And if you want tangibles, business, personal, and health are my 3 categories. I'll talk about that again in a minute. Business, personal, and health. So with that top 20%, define what your biggest activities are, outsource the rest. I don't care if it's to a virtual assistant, a local person, whatever it is, outsource the rest. And I know if you're stuck in a position, I want to show of hands, who wants to hire but has that fear of letting go of control? Yeah, get over it, quick. Because she fought me. This is my project manager, AJ, right here. Trista fought me for like 3 months before I hired AJ. Even after I hired AJ, AJ would message me like, hey, give me something to do today. And I'd say, oh, there's not much going on, even though I'm putting in like 10-hour day. Because I was afraid of that control, but I finally let it go. And I'm telling you, that is how you scale. You hire on help. Somebody talked about it earlier. I was dead on with that. So whatever your 20% is, you focus all your energy on that. Okay? If you take an axe and hit a tree in 1,000 different spots, any Maxwell fans? 1,000 different spots. It's not going anywhere. If you take a tree or an axe, hit a tree 1,000 spots in the same spot 1,000 times, that bad boy's coming down. That's how you get results. So define your top 20%. Find out what you need to do with the rest. Sometimes it's letting go of stuff. And that's a hard transition. I recently had to quit 2 businesses, two side hustles that I was trying to develop. I had to cut them out completely. Gave my position away to somebody else. That was a tough transition, but because of that, it's helped us learn to focus more. We're getting better results out of it. Number 4, I know some people are gonna hate me for this. Stop setting and focusing on yearly goals. If you guys read 12-week year, they talk about the same thing. Stop focusing in creating those big yearly goals and start focusing on the 30-day increments, month by month. Because here's what happens. That's why I love this book, because it talks about this. In January, how many people say, oh, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year, same 50 pounds as last year. They say, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Okay, January 31st comes along, they go, oh, that didn't get anywhere. Oh, it's okay, I still have 11 months. February, oh crap, I only lost a pound. It's okay, I still have 10 months. Okay, so when you learn to focus on just the yearly, you think you have so much more time. And I've learned, and especially with what we do, I started just focusing on 30-day increments, because if you focus on stretching and pushing yourself just a little bit month by month, you're naturally going to have that same chart that you've seen up here 100 times today. You're going to have that nice incline going with your business. And again, this is where I break it down again, is business, personal, and I'm completely drawing a blank. Health. The most important one, right? So business, personal, and health. I make 3 columns on a whiteboard. and if you guys follow our YouTube channel, you see it on my background. It's up there because I put it publicly. Because that holds me accountable. So I put those things up there and I can check them off every 30 days. And it really helps me push myself more. Last but not least is just set some type of schedule or plan for yourself. This is a big one that was missing in our entire life. Like, we schedule our date nights. As stupid as that sounds. Every Friday night now, we know we have to make time for each other. There's no work talk. Any couples that work together? Yeah, that's a different ball game. No work talk, put the cell phones away. Like, that makes a difference. So you need to learn to schedule and prioritize your time. Where is that time going? So if it's going to be OA and RA, you need to put, okay, when am I going to go drive? When am I going to do pickups? If I'm doing Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp. When am I going to do my online sourcing? You need to schedule this stuff out, especially in Amazon world, guys, and eBay. Listings in eBay and Amazon shipments need to be consistent. Because I'm not the only one I know in this room that has missed out on several weeks of shipments, and then a month later go, why are my sales slow? I just don't get it. You have to create some type of consistency with your schedule. I don't know what that looks like for you. I'm not a scheduling expert. I just know that it works. So that might be a daily to-do list. It might be as going, like my calendar, I'm very scheduled. Like, I don't take phone calls, I don't take text messages unless it's within my allotted time. Like, I schedule my time out because we do a lot of different things. So those are my 5 things for you guys. Read, exercise, nutrition, define your top 20%, set monthly goals, and create a schedule. You start implementing those things like now, you will see changes. I can promise you that. If you come to me 3 months from now, again, read 12-week year and implement it. If you come to me 3 months from now and you say, Chaz, and none of it worked, I'm going to call BS on it. If you do it, it will work. Jump and build your wings on the way down. You do not have to go seminar after seminar after seminar after seminar, reading book after book after book. I'm a YouTuber. Casey's a big YouTuber. We can both agree that we don't want you watching our videos if you're not actually going to do something with the information. That's a big difference. So jump and build your wings on the way down. Go to seminars, read the books, watch the videos. Like, we want you guys to do all that stuff, but stop thinking you can build your perfect aircraft at the top of the cliff and then fly a nice cruising altitude. You're going to jump, you're going to hit some rocks on the way down, you're going to fail many times, but you build your wings on the way down. That's how you get better. So with that, that's my spiel. Hopefully I didn't offend too many people. So yeah, how our business has changed. We've definitely gotten a lot more consistent. Back then it was kind of just like a hobby. We were running other businesses that they weren't doing great, but they were generating enough income, like we were comfortable, but we were never really satisfied with it. So when I started doing like the pallets, we'd go out in thrift stores and get all that kind of stuff. It was so sporadic, just whenever I had time, right? Oh, I'll go source when I have time, because we all have so much time, right? Now it's very structured, very scheduled. We send out weekly shipments. That's been the game changer, was the consistency, hands down. It's not that we have, I mean, obviously we have better sourcing techniques, we have better suppliers, all that kind of stuff that comes with time and experience, but the ultimate thing that developed that was consistency. And that's why I hit really hard on scheduling, because that was a game changer for us. So consistency was definitely a big one.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but did you used to go by Lifestyle Warrior?
I did.
All right, because I could not find
People
you.
get so
like,
mad. We changed our name 3 times.
But it's not Lifestyle Warrior anymore.
So I was FBA Rockstars in the beginning, but I'm more than FBA. Like, I love to do the health and fitness coaching. I love to talk about entrepreneurship as a general, other business models too. So FBA Rockstars never fit. Lifestyle Warrior, I'm like, sounds cool, but it never stuck. Then we developed Side Hustle Pros, and I mean, that shows you guys,
I didn't know who Side Hustle Pros were, but I was subscribed to them.
Oh, and the videos popped up.
Right.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that shows you guys firsthand though, like, I jumped. I didn't have the perfect name, the perfect videos, none of it. I just jumped and built my wings on the way down. So we found our company name that really stuck with what our vision is and helping others quit their jobs. Side Hustle Pros. Of course, the videos got better, our sourcing techniques got better, how we're helping people got better. It's all consistency. So you're talking about, you're trying to add another thing in right now? How I allocate time to what is going to produce my biggest impact, whether that's on the community as a YouTuber or that's finances in a business. I allocate our time based on what is my main focus, and it actually changes every month. That's, again, going back to month-to-month goals. I change which business I focus on every month. Because while YouTube and affiliate marketing might be rocking one month, the next month I'll look and be like, oh crap, I haven't sent in an FBA shipment in 2 weeks. So then my gears change real quick and I'm going all in Amazon. So I don't think you can ever find the perfect balance between it. I think it's just focusing on what your priorities are, and that's why I'm a big fan of the month-to-month.
Part of
Yes.
the business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, YouTube is, YouTube is its own business in itself. There's like 10 different ways to monetize.
Right.
Once you get into the YouTube world. And that gets into a very touchy subject real quick, because I know I'm over on time. Is if you get to a point of monetizing something that is YouTube, for example, or a blog or something that puts value out there, never give up the value you started.